Let's get into something deep.
This is a level 4 ecoregion map of my home state, Mississippi. EPA.gov. Here's where you can find out more information if you're interested in learning about your state ecoregion, level 4 ecoregions. And today we're going to be talking about the Mississippi Valley Loess or Loess or Lurse, many different pronunciations, plains. And loess is a type of soil, a wind-blown sediment that I am standing on top of in my ecoregion. It looks like this. The ecology and plant communities here have been severely impacted by agriculture and development. So I'm going to show some photos of plant species and communities that occur here in the Loess Plains 74B that have a range that extends westward. And I'll also be showing some plant species that occur in the northern hilly Gulf coastal plain that have a range that usually extends eastward, going all the way up to Virginia sometimes. And then I'll highlight this area, Holly Springs, all the way up to Fayette County in Tennessee. It has some pretty awesome diversity, and I think that's because it's riding this line between the North Hilly Gulf coastal plain and the Loess Plains. So check some of these things out. This one is Asclepias tuberosa, or butterfly milkweed, and I find it mostly in the Loess Plains. Now, it's kind of all over, and then it jumps over to the Black Belt Prairie, but I think it's more dominant in the Loess Plains. Now, this is Asclepias viridiflora. It has a pretty large range also, but I'm seeing it more in the Loess Plains, and then it hops over to the Black Belt Prairie, but not as much in North Hilly Gulf coastal plain. And this one is Asclepias variegata, which is also called red ring milkweed, and I find it more so in the North Hilly Gulf coastal plain. Now, all these milkweeds can show up in both. I'm just talking about where I find them more often. And I'm throwing this one in just for fun. This is Asclepias perennis, or aquatic milkweed, and I've only ever seen it in the Bluff Hills or the Mississippi alluvial plain. This is Penstemon tubiflorus, one of my favorites. And I've seen this one in DeSoto County, Mississippi, and Fayette County, Tennessee. It's very rare, but then it hops over the alluvial plain and starts showing up west of these areas. Very cool plant. Still in North Hilly Gulf coastal plain south of us, but I thought it was interesting that this is showing up in the Loess Plains around here. This one is Tephrosia onobricoides, or multi-bloom Tephrosia. And I find this one in the Loess Plains and a prairie remnant, and then it jumps over the alluvial plain and picks back up in Arkansas. And this one is Tephrosia virgidiana, or goat's rue, and I see it more in the northern hilly Gulf coastal plain and not so much in the Loess Plains. This is Silphium integrifolium, or prairie rosin weed. I love this plant. I see it more often around where I live in the Loess Plains, not so much in the North Hilly Gulf coastal plain. And I see it jump over to the west as well. This one looks very similar, but it's Silphium asteriscus, or starry rosin weed, and I've only ever seen it in the northern hilly Gulf coastal plain, never seen it in the Loess Plains. Now, this seriously is my favorite plant. This is Rudbeckia alismifolia, or plantain-leafed coneflower, and I see it in a prairie remnant around Hernando in the Loess Plains. Now, there is one site in North Hilly Gulf coastal plains, but I think more of it in the Loess Plains, and it jumps right over to Arkansas, just like the others. And this one is Physostegia, or obedient plant, and I've only seen it ever before in Northern Hilly Gulf coastal plains, so seems to be more present there. This is Amsonia salicifolia, that I see more so in the Loess Plains and very wet roadsides and areas like that. And it looks like Amsonia tabernae montana is more in the northern hilly Gulf coastal plain. This is Pachyra dubia, or woolly ragwort, that is present in the Loess Plains. But I do see Pachyra aurea is present in the northern hilly Gulf coastal plain and east of there also. But I don't see this one east of the Loess Plains. It's a very interesting plant. Now, this beauty is Liatris squarulosa, or Appalachian blazing star, which I see in the northern hilly Gulf Gulf coastal plain, but I do not see in the lush plains. In fact, I rarely see any liatris species in the lush plains. Sometimes squarosa, which is a similar species, savanna blazing star, but this one is all over some sites in the northern hilly Gulf coastal plain. This is Ecoregion yuccifolium, or rattlesnake master. I see it far more often in northern hilly Gulf coastal plain. It is either absent or very hard to find in the lush plains. The last one I'm going to talk about is Tradescantia occidentalis, or western spiderwort, which is in the lush plains, and then jumps right over, going west into Arkansas, and you don't see it east of that site in the lush plains in North Mississippi. I could continue going on about plant communities and species in their ranges, but I want to be clear that I'm just talking about this area right here. I also want to thank Daryl Brown, who kind of rediscovered many of these sites and plants that I'm showing you now, and John Keys, who really opened my eyes to the ranges of some of these plants that I've been finding through here, going both east and west. I also wanted to show that my logo has our Mississippi Ecoregion level 4 ecoregions behind it right there. In conclusion, I want to show that there's kind of an arbitrary line here that breaks up plant communities, species, habitats that occur here, hop over the alluvial plain and extend west into Arkansas and beyond. And this line changes right over here in these communities, continue east. I thought that was really interesting and makes a lot of plants in this area, my Ecoregion 74B lush plains, really unique and interesting. There's not many natural areas left. There's some wild remnants, and it's very important that we check them out and document them because special place. Y'all have a good one.